You haven't been the same for over 6 months. Been here since day one. I hope you enjoyed this goodbye super chat. I can't watch you drown in sadness anymore. Parasocial goes both ways, and you wouldn't let me do this. Yeah, no, I know I'm not the same dude I was on day one, and a lot of it has been things that I've learned, and just the frustration with having learned them, having learned the quick ways to be successful on here, having learned what the audience thinks about me now that the honeymoon period isn't over, having learned what is it like to have an entire thread of like negative stuff about you, or to go on like a Discord or a group chat and to see like people you had been hanging out with for a long time like saying really awful stuff to you or about you, and you don't want to confront it, or managing this kind of balance between like, well, what happens if you get into a situation where you have like a disagreeable event or interaction with somebody, and then you know, like this whole cherry thing, that was another learning experience for me. How would I handle this? And often these solutions to these things are not things that I enjoy. I used to have so much like control over my life to make a lot of things good all the time, and that felt good. And I still have a lot of that with streaming, but man, a lot of the stuff that I'm kind of forced to do or forced to confront, it's all just a bit of a bummer, man. It's a bit of a bummer that like when the meta shifts to something you don't like doing, or when the expectation placed on you is something that you don't really enjoy doing all the time, or you have concerns about people that you can't voice on stream, or it'll be taken a particular way, or some people just get taken off the menu for giving criticism to or doing videos about because I don't want to seem like I hate this person or something like that, right? Like with Vosh, it was like that for a while. And that's because after I had my, you know, interaction with Vosh, and then I helped with that Doomer video, I got threats to like dox me and stuff. You know, like there's just, there's been a lot that I've learned or gone through, and it's all like changed my outlook on stuff. And, you know, you can hear it in my voice. It's a little bit difficult because it becomes something else entirely, but that doesn't mean it has to be bad. Like I was watching all these YouTubers today and comparing their early on, you know, before they thought about this stuff, when they had, you know, 13 subscribers and they were getting like single digit views on their videos. Very interesting to see them continue and fight at that and get it up to triple digit, and you know, like do that for like a year or two, post 100 videos, and you still aren't breaking like 4 digits consistently. Like nutty, you know, that I think that builds a lot of character, and people may forget. Sam certainly wouldn't, but on this channel we started out with single digit viewers for many months. We had barely even double digit viewers. I was trying to do things that were just not going to be successful on Twitch, like trying to do tutoring, you know, like yeah, I had a completely different idea about what I wanted to do, and that idea wasn't smart. It wasn't gonna work. You know, I would have been better off trying to make YouTube series that were like the K through 12 math project or something like that, if that's really what I wanted to do. But there was no way that Twitch was really going to connect to the other thing in the way that I thought it was. But then people really liked rhetorical reviews where like I go line by line through people's stuff, and I was like, all right, this is Bing chilling. This is using my research abilities and whatever, and my skill set, and it's scalable. I could see how staff could help with this, and if I just make enough money, I can get a house. I can get out of this broken down van. I could get an office. I could hire people to help with this. I could make sure that content is coming out consistently. Like I had a whole road view after being on here for maybe a year, where like I understood the meta, I understood what was going on, and then I plugged away at it. But over time, man, it's like, you know, do I really want to keep doing that? You know, it takes so much time when I'm working full time, like I was in Romania. I just don't do anything else. I don't talk to my friends a ton. When I do, I'm just a bummer because I'm tired and overworked. Projects are slow going, like the BGG website. This is not something where you see the turnaround or the benefit in days or even weeks or even months. And if I don't get that benefit, if I don't get that good feeling, and if streaming gives me bad feelings, like that quickly gets out of hand, right? So that's what I'm talking about with the balance in the lifestyle and whatever, yeah. Anywho, I'm going to continue down the list of chat here. Take streaming less serious and finding friends outside of the streamer sphere are two major ones. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I hope that it probably won't come off this way to you guys. I haven't taken the last several streams, I think since I've been at Cherries, probably. I haven't taken them seriously. There's been a lot of trying to take it seriously behind the scenes, like creating prep documents for certain reviews and stuff. I just canned them all. It was time that I spent that I threw away because I could not follow through with it. It started to get so hard to do those prep documents because I just have all these thoughts in my head of like, boy, oh boy, what a waste of skill and energy. Like, not to toot my own horn, but I'm capable of doing a lot more than that. So coming close to utilizing a lot of the things that I use for like speedrunning college classes or speedrunning research and whatever, and then using this tool to look at the fourth part of a 6-part back and forth between two Twitch streamers who stream in the politics category. Like, I just can't put out of my head how silly a lot of this is. But yeah, I'll continue with the chat because I'm sure I'm way behind. Is your job the reason you travel so much? I think childhood trauma is the reason I travel so much. My job initially was my excuse to travel so much, but I would say it's more of an excuse than a reason. I think the actual reason is probably that when my parents got divorced and I was like 6 or 7 years old or whatever, they moved into different houses, and then they moved into different houses in very far away areas. So when I would go to my dad's house on the weekend, I couldn't hang out with any of my friends at school. And when I went to school, I could never join in any conversations about whatever it is that they did over the weekend. And it was like this ever since I was little. I just never had friends that I could do stuff with. That's why when I became an adult, I made a big deal of like, if I can't hang out with you in real life, I'm gonna keep it $150 with you. We are a different kind of friend than a friend that I can hang out with, because I take that a lot more seriously, because I just didn't have that when I was a kid. School was amazing because I got to go talk to a bunch of people that were my age and make jokes and, try to cut every corner to be good at school and, flirt with teachers. And, I had a lot of fun in school. Yeah, it was cool to be around people. But no, I had the essay writing job. And so I figured, man, I really want to see Japan. I really want to see South Korea. I would love to see like the castles and different stuff in Europe. I would love to go see these like colored mountains in Peru. And it would be cool to see the Antarctic continent at some point and save up money for that. And all of that was going to take like a lifetime to do. I really just wanted to have a basic understanding when I look at a globe of what are these different countries? What are the people there like? What are the cultures they're like? And I want to be able to point to those countries 50 years from now when I'm talking to my grandkids or something and be like, I remember when Hong Kong was not a part of China, or I remember when, I remember Europe before the World War III, if that ends up happening, or I remember Poland before Russia marched into Warsaw, or, like whatever happens in the future. It's very interesting to know about before and to live in history. And So I traveled a lot, and my job was the excuse because I worked online. So why wouldn't I be able to, you know? I had grown used to living out of a backpack, traveling between my parents' houses and stuff. And my dad had taught me to be very self-sustaining and whatever. So I seemed uniquely set to do it. And so I did it. I watched Casey Neistat and I was like, this motherfucker does this and he has an online job. Why can't I do this? And I have an online job, you know? So that's what got me started. Boy, were airplanes and airports not as fun as I had thought they were going to be based on Casey Neistat. But, you know, again, I try not to be too bummed about like my change in perspective, because I think you're going to be bummed out as you learn that things aren't the way that you think that they are, or you have to confront the reality of the way that things are. But at the end of the day, you're kind of more worldly and you get things a little bit more. And with that comes some jadedness, or with that comes some frustration with the difference between what you thought it was going to be and what it ended up being. But I think it's a healthier place to be. It's healthier to know that like being at airports and being on like 8-hour, you know, layovers does not mean you can leave the airport and go do fun stuff, or having an 18-hour layover does not mean you get to leave the airport and go do fun stuff. Flying fucking sucks. Trains are a lot better. Fuck what other people say. I don't care if it takes me 2 times as long. A train is going to be way more enjoyable than a plane. You know, like, I don't know. There's just stuff that you learn, and it's a part of it, dude. I really appreciate you sharing what you're going through personally and business-wise. As a solopreneur on the internet, I can relate to a lot of it. Just wanted to send some love and appreciation. You're a good duder. Thank you. I appreciate it. And again, it can be awkward for me to come on here and talk about these things, because these aren't things I would necessarily share with my parents. They're for sure not things I would talk with my siblings about. They are barely things that I feel comfortable sharing with my friends. A lot of it is just like, I cook. I do meditation. I do journaling. I write stuff down. I think about stuff for days on end, which again takes away from productive time. You must understand. But I find that that's a good way to work through my issues and feel really confident in whatever solution I end up picking to these problems. But yeah, maybe talking about it with you guys is helpful. Maybe some of you are like me. And if you are, you may not ever hear of other people that think this way, because you're not going to be engaging with people in that way. Or if you're a lonely fuck like me, maybe you just don't talk to anybody. And maybe I don't think about things the way that you do, but maybe you can steal some shit that I'm doing and it'll help you out. I don't know. When Destiny found out you told her she wasn't black enough for the N-word before he could.
It should have been me!